What I love about this vision that co-founders Erin Taylor and Sue DeCaro have put together, building connected communities, is that it allows and opens the gateway for everyone involved in children's lives, coaches, therapists, teachers, psychologists, to come together on one platform and learn ways to raise their consciousness together, collectively, so that the future of our children is a more evolved and enlightened one.
How beautiful. MomTalk community, welcome to today's program. I wanted to wish you all a happy new year and higher consciousness experiences in 2017. I am so honored and happy to have Sue DeCaro and Erin Taylor today on MomTalk. And the conversation today will be on becoming more connected and how we're evolving as conscious parents together, and the life stories that we live by, and how we can be of better influence and better help and better friends and better mom-to-mom connected human beings as well as parents. So Sue and Erin, welcome to MomTalk.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. I just like Dr. Shefali, I am so excited about joining this conversation with you and learning more about your vision. And in 2017, one of my New Year's resolution is to stay more present with evolving on this journey of higher consciousness. So you two are soul leaders, and you have started this beautiful community, the BCC community, that I like to share with our audience and invite them to join you on this journey. So tell us a little bit about the history of BCC, building connected communities, and how it all started.
We'd be delighted. Thank you, Nelly. Building Connected Communities started a year ago, actually on January 1st, but we'd love to tell you a little bit about how we began the whole concept of building connected communities. Erin and I were fortunate enough to meet in a graduate study program for parent coaching, to have our certification in parent coaching. And during that program, we were actually matched up as study buddies to work together each and every day as we moved through the extensive program. We became not only study buddies, but very good friends. And when we graduated from school 1 year in with the master's level certification in parent coaching, we decided to do all of our workshops together to really talk to the community in the tri-state area that we live in, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, and really help to bring consciousness, mindfulness, gratitude, and all sorts of other fabulous topics to the forefront for both parents, teachers, and the sporting community for our youth. And so we wrote many workshops, we delivered many workshops, and we had an incredible, exciting time doing it together. We really balanced each other well, and we had fun. Many of our colleagues did not have this all over the world. We were connected with people who do very similar work in all sorts of different states in the US and abroad, and they did not have a colleague to write workshops with, to present workshops with, and to really be a partner in this incredible, well-needed type of work that we're doing all over the world. So many of them would share that with us and their concerns. And so that, along with a few other things, were the reasons that we created BCC. And I'll let Erin talk a little further about our story. Take it away, Erin.
Sure thing, Sue. It's my pleasure. When the idea came to us for BCC, it was last fall, well, a year ago and a couple of months. And we immediately set to work to launch Building Connected Communities on January 1st of 2016. And our goal really was to build a supportive community for professionals doing this kind of work in the world. And our community members are social workers, therapists, health coaches, parent coaches like Sue and I, life coaches. We have wellness coaches, we have Reiki healers. So we have people from all walks of life who are basically trying to help people, parents, individuals, families, kids, just help people to live a more conscious, connected, and fulfilling life. And so we've created a structured, supportive environment where we can help those individuals to reach a wider audience and to bring their important message further out into the world to ultimately change the world and make it a better place for the next generation and for us too.
Right on. And I can attest to that I believe that peace learning and part of this bringing wellness and a better future for our kids and future generations is exactly that, integrating, making those linkages, and having a place and people who are like-minded, who can support you and are in a very collaborative, non-competitive environments. And you have certainly both modeled that individually as well as collectively created this platform so that we can benefit from it as a community. And my viewers, you know, we have an international go global community that I'm sure if you're watching and you're curious and you want to learn more about BCC, you can join them and us and everyone who's interested on the website. So you go to BCC, Building Connected Communities website, and the ways in which you can, as a professional, connect, or as an individual who likes to learn more. Do you have an international audience or community? Do you have global members who are in touch and doing great conscious parenting work together?
We do, Nelly. We have members all over the world. We're in 6 out of 7 continents. The only continent we're not in is Antarctica, and we're not finished yet. So we will still look and see if we can find a global changer in Antarctica. But at the present time, we're in 6 out of 7 continents with members doing this very important work, like Erin shared, in various capacities, but all in the helping profession all over the world.
So if I'm a teacher in Iran watching right now, and I am curious to learn and want to connect to someone here in the U.S. and write a workshop or do some collaborative work together, what are the steps involved in building that connection within the community?
It's really pretty simple, actually. They can just send us an email at info@buildingconnectedcommunities.com.
Okay.
And then we will get back in touch with them and make sure what they want to do is nicely aligned with the kind of people that we're built to support. And then they can sign up and join our community and then hit the ground running. We have many different things that we offer to our members. We have a private Facebook group where they all get to connect with each other and lean on, support, encourage each other. They have formed, work together to start new projects, and they've been accountability partners for each other. And so it's a very, very supportive global community. So we have that for them. We have a variety of trainings and workshops that they can take that we offer. And we have monthly calls where we all gather together to discuss different topics. So really, it's just a matter of getting in touch with us, signing up, and then they're a part of us.
Wonderful. I'm going to take a moment to translate. This is such an important piece of the connecting the communities. دوستان اگر با ما هستید در این برنامه مادر و کودک در رابطه با خانم سو دکارو و خانم ایرین تیلر که کوفاوندر Building Connected Communities هستند، BCC. و اگر به وبسایتشون تشریف ببرین، در این وبسایت یا اگر ایمیلشون بکنین info@ at buildingconnectedcommunities.com. میتونین با این کوفاوندر خانم سو و ارن در تماس باشین اگر که علاقه‌مند هستین به مچ شدن یا با کسی کار کردن، شاید معلمی، شاید روانشناسی، شاید مشاور و یا اینجا خب کوچینگ خیلی الان زیاد هستش و کوچایی که مادر و پدرها رو کمک میکنن و باهاشون کار میکنن. کاری که شما میتونین بکنین اینه که با هم در رابطه باشین، تماس بگیرین و خانم سو و ارن کمک میکنن که شما رو مچ بکنن. مثلا اگر شما Conscious Parenting رو ترجیح میدین یا علاقه‌مند هستین که اینجا موومنت جدید هستش، یه در اصل میشه گفت انقلاب، یه تحولی هستش که در شیوه تربیت و آموزش و پرورش کودکان در خانه، در منزل و مدارس استفاده میشه. اگر Conscious Parenting رو دوست دارین، اونها شما رو با بهترین ها، با تاپ ترین کوچا و کسانی که واقعا فعالیت میکنن، ورکشاپ میذارن، کوریکولم و اون به اصطلاح مطالب آموزشی رو دارن، شما رو به اصطلاح مچ میکنن، با اونها در تماس خواهیم بود. اگر میخواین به اصطلاح ترنسلیت بکنین، میخواین این مطالب رو به زبان فارسی ترجمه بکنین و استفاده بکنین در مدارس ایران و منزل خانواده ها، این به قول معروف یک تحول و یک انقلاب جدیدی هستش که شما پیس لرنینگ و یا آموزش صلح و پرورش صلح رو در مدارس و منزل از طریق این نوع کانکشن ها و این نوع تماس ها میتونین برقرار بکنین. خیلی جدی بگیرین، مسئله به اصطلاح موضوع خیلی داغی هستش که اینجا روی اینتگریشن و کانکشن بین کامیونیتی هایی که کامیونیتی های خوب هستن و کارهای خوب انجام میدن اینجا بسیار به اصطلاح محسوس هستش و بهش ارزش قائل هستیم. So let's continue this conversation in regards to conscious parenting. I know both of you are front leaders, soul leaders on this. And as Dr. Shefali endorsed you, you work really hard on a daily basis to not only in leadership, nurture and cultivate this conscious parenting methodology or approach, but also individually you're living it, and it is part of the journey, the higher consciousness journey. So tell us what conscious parenting means to you and how you're fostering it today.
Well, I think as you mentioned, practicing it in our own homes is crucial. You know, being able to live in a conscious way as a parent with our children, connecting with our children is the first step, and we do that each and every day. Conscious parenting is about connecting with our children on a conscious level, being aware of the spirit of our child, who they actually are, and allowing them to grow as they are without us feeling as if we have to redirect them into a location, a street, a road, a map that we may have in our minds of what they should be. Mm-hmm. So it's really about who the child is, what they bring to this world, the gifts that they offer, and really creating the conditions for those gifts and that spirit to thrive, as opposed to our agendas and what we want our children to be. Everyone has a dream, I think, before they have children of what it's going to look like. I know I did. Mm-hmm. And it isn't necessarily going to equate to that dream. And I think in most cases it doesn't, because we don't really know what it's like to have a child until we have a child. Mm-hmm. And so really being able to teach our communities, our members, and live it ourselves, how to bring more consciousness to this world enables our children to live a more connected life to the parents and the adults in their world, mm-hmm. and a more connected life to themselves. And the same thing holds true with the parents. We want them to live a more connected life to themselves as well, as they move through this journey with us in learning and training more on how to be a conscious parent, as well as through our coaching practices individually.
Mm-hmm. So if you're coaching a parent who is constantly on their cell phones and multitasking and really busy, and the child is involved in many activities, and there is a lack of connectedness in that family system. What are some of your advices for that family?
Well, I think the first thing that we do, whether we're working with a client or parent individually or in a group workshop setting, the first thing that we encourage the parents to do is to take a really honest, authentic look at their schedules and their child's schedule, and see if, once they kind of write it all down and look at it on visually in front of them, see if it seems right to them, if it feels right to them, if the amount and volume of what's in their schedule and the activities that they do is feeding their soul, or stressing them out and depleting them. Many times we find that parents get caught up in the rat race, and in their very sincere desire to provide the best for their child, to provide the best opportunities, the best life, they tend to sometimes overschedule their child, have them in a music lesson, in a sport and an activity, and maybe Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, and volunteering, and maybe their church or their religious institution. And so before you know it, the child is out of the house every day of the week, and then the parent may have their own things going on. So then they're just running and chauffeuring and going to meetings and going to practices and games just all week long. And so parents usually find it very, very helpful when they take an authentic look at that situation and decide what things should stay in their lives and what things can go. We encourage parents to, if they've signed their child up, well, first of all, we encourage parents to sign their children up with their children's agreement. That's right. Number one. But then, if they have signed their child up for something, and maybe it's a 6 or 8 week class or sport or lesson or whatever, to see that season through to completion, but then reevaluate before they're going to sign up for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and really make informed, mindful decisions about how they're choosing to spend their time and how their child is choosing to spend their time. Because on top of all those other activities, the child also has homework. More than likely, they have homework. And so there's so many stressors coming in at children of all ages that the more we can create some space and some downtime, it's good for the parents to have that time to reflect and reevaluate and to bring in their own pieces of self-care, what fills their buckets back up. And then it's good for the child to have some free time so that they can exercise their creativity and maybe feel bored once in a while, because that's where creative ideas come from. Right. But I think kids are so overscheduled that they don't even get a chance to be bored anymore.
Right, and I have to agree. I think a challenge for the millennial parents, as well as the next generation, is connecting and finding that inside-out growth process within individuals' pace, the time that fits their individual growth. And this is a conversation that I like having with my family, as well as families that I work with, and exactly doing that, bringing it to the consciousness and prioritizing so that your inner desires and your growth is cohesive. It makes sense with the learning experience, and that you have enough time to integrate, and integration and the value of integration and how important it is to our well-being and our wholeness. So these conversations, I find it so valuable. And so when I find soul leaders like yourself having these conversations and coaching through these conversations, it just warms my heart so much. And I'm so honored and happy to have this connection with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I add to that, something to that,
Sure.
Nelly? I think one of the things that we hear a lot is that parents don't, in our education of parents and teachers and individuals, that they don't realize necessarily until they take a step back that they're actually modeling everything that they do for their children. So as Erin mentioned, self-care, if they're taking care of themselves and creating that space to have downtime, their children are learning from them.
Right.
Same thing with the cell phone usage or screen time. Many parents will say to their children, you can only use a certain amount of screen time, but yet the parents might be on the screens, for hours and hours upon in a day. And so I think that in itself is a big lesson and a big eye-opener for parents, just to hear us say and share how we are models for our children. When I was growing up, it was do as I say, not as I do. Well, we've shifted way away from that. And they're no longer necessarily listening to what we say. They are just watching everything we do. So I think really being the best models, is a big key for our parents today in everything that they do. That their children are observing each and every moment.
And modeling, continuing on with the conversations, I find it very helpful. I personally feel connected and more conscious when I involve those questions and the contemplations with our children. The three who are 7 and 9, the twins are 9 and the little one is 7. So at 7 and 9, they bring so much value to these conversations, the contemplations, and me being honest with them. At times when I have been using I have been on the screen more than I wanted to because of my work, having those conversations with them and allowing them to give feedback to me and using that feedback in a valuable way that makes sense, and vice versa, for us to have trust in that relationship, that soul-to-soul connection, so that we value each other for helping each other be of higher consciousness or a higher being. And it all comes down to our interconnectedness. I think the times that I'm at, my worst parenting, my worst peace learning parenting is when I have lost consciousness, right? When I get caught up in just the speed of modern life, which is so unhealthy. Like, I really have to be so aware and mindful of not getting on that the hamster wheel, the treadmill. And it's challenging, especially, living in communities where that's just the norm. The social norm is that pace. Yeah. So for those viewers who are joining us abroad, internationally, perhaps from the Middle East or India or Asia, we're talking to Sue DeCaro and Erin Taylor, the co-founders of Building Connected Communities. The topic of our conversation is how do we join together on this journey to higher consciousness as parents and individuals, human beings, and how do we raise awareness on the value of peace learning and the interactions that we have together as online friends in this case, and as parents. Sue, what are some of the pitfalls or challenges of conscious parenting for you and those parents, families that you've coached in the past?
Well, I think it's a daily practice, as I mentioned earlier, it really moment to moment. So we, Erin and I have gone and spoken at workshops in front of, 90, 100 people or more. And we'll hear, oh, you guys are, your homes are probably perfect, and you guys are perfect, and you live consciously each and every day. And that's the goal, is to live consciously each and every day, but we're human beings. And so, of course, we have unconscious moments as well. And I think one of the big keys is our own stress level, is our own energy, is our own bucket, as we like to call it. And filling that bucket first is one of the biggest keys, I think, to conscious parenting and conscious living, because if our tank is empty, it's just like a car. If we have to run our children to various sports and we have no gas, no one gets anywhere. And so just like a car, if we have to take care of our children and our family and, fulfill all the needs, of a parent, whatever that might look like in, each and every person's household, we have to have a full tank. We have to have our energy up, and we have to have our needs met. And so we hear many times that people think that's a selfish way to live, yet that's actually the most unselfish way to live, because the more we fill our tank, the more available and conscious and more mindful we are of everyone else in our home. So I would say that is the biggest key.
Right
and
on.
the second thing would be really to take accountability. When we are unconscious, when we have those moments, to go back and, I hate to use the word fix, but acknowledge, let's call it, acknowledge what happened and take accountability. We're teaching our children such valuable things by going back and, taking responsibility for a mess up, let's call it. And we may hear the same from them when they do things or say things that are not the most conscious, or, using the right tone of voice and speaking respectfully or what have you. They're learning again from us.
So perhaps in cultures like, I know a Persian heritage, or some of the moms that I talk to in our mommy group, they complain about this, how the grandparents and the parents believe that by being the martyr, by being selfless, by being the mom who is selfless and does not care about themselves, you're actually doing good for your family. It's counterintuitive. So if you come from this epigenetics or this cultural heritage where you believe that, your grandmother was so selfless and so giving and such a martyr, and she didn't do anything for herself, but just, gave to her children and her husband, and so if those messages are embedded in your subconsciousness or in your psyche, part of this consciousness revolution or evolving towards higher consciousness would involve challenging those values and to go, maybe perhaps act counterintuitively. When you feel, you want to give more, you actually pause, take a moment, and do the opposite and wait and see how that feels. Because as you mentioned, when we are, empty and we have given so much and we're exhausted and don't have energy to give, those are stressful times. Those are times that we are oftentimes yelling and lashing out and making poor decisions, and interpersonally as well as intrapsychically. So it's a great point, and I like to translate it for our Farsi-speaking audience. دوستان صحبتی که می‌کنیم در رابطه با به اصطلاح مرحله و رشد درونی هستش، روانی، روحی روانی، در رابطه با خودآگاهی و اینکه چقدر مهم هستش در اوقاتی که به اصطلاح ما خسته هستیم یا بیش از حد انرژی گذاشتیم در مادری و پدری و به اصطلاح شاید به عنوان یک زن همسر، اون اوقات یک لحظاتی رو برای خودمون بذاریم که از خودمون مراقبت بکنیم و چقدر مهمه اگر که این کار رو نکنیم، اون اِوولوشن، اون تکامل، اون رشد به اصطلاح خودآگاهی یا کانشسنس ما جلوش به اصطلاح یک ایستی قرار خواهد گرفت و ما رو به اصطلاح منجر به این میشه که ما رشد نکنیم در اون مراحل رشد که خیلی هم میتونه زیبا باشه. برای همین توصیه میکنند و در Conscious Parenting این توصیه میشه که self care به اصطلاح مراقبت از خود، مراقبت کردن از خود یکی از مهمترین اقدام هایی هستش که ما میتونیم در رابطه با ارتقاء خودآگاهی و یا تکاملمون، پیشرفتمون از درون به بیرون این اتفاق صورت بگیره. من میدونم مادرای جوون امروزه این کار رو خیلی خوب انجام میدن و به خودشون میرسن و به خودشون بریک میدن و به خودشون اون به اصطلاح لحظاتی رو که نیاز دارن از نظر روحی روانی یا سایکی اون درونشون پر بشه و روح و روانشون یک التیامی پیدا بکنه و یک به اصطلاح انرژی جدیدی بیاد توشون، اون لحظات رو به خودشون این اجازه رو میدن که بریک بگیرن. شاید 2 نسل گذشته، شاید مادر بزرگامون یا مادرای مادر بزرگامون این کار رو نمی کردن و در اصل بر این باور بودن که هرچی ایثار بکنین، هرچی از خودگذشتگی بکنین، این برای خانواده، برای رشد خانواده بهتر هستش. و خب این تا حدی میتونه درست باشه، ولی بالانس و تعادل در این خیلی مهمه. چون اگر که همون به اصطلاح مادر یا همسری که از خودگذشتگی زیادی نشون میده، بیش از حد این کار رو انجام بده، به یک جایی خواهد رسید که دیگه انرژی برای به اصطلاح کمک رسانی یا تیک کیر کردن نخواهد داشت. بنابراین خیلی بهش توجه بکنین. سلف کیر، سلف کمپشن، به اصطلاح اون اشتیاق برای ریجوونیشن و انرژی دوباره بسیار بسیار مهم هستش. Excellent point. Erin, earlier you were talking about how your kid, you have sick kids at home and you're dealing with this stomach flu, and just being a mom, being a warrior mom at home. Tell us about your personal experiences and how you handle those moments when you're finding it challenging. You're finding it a really challenging time as a mom, a warrior mom.
Well, one of the things that I have learned personally over the years in doing this work requires you to practice it really intensely all the time. And it doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means that you practice a whole lot. And so today, even as an example, I was a little bit, I found different points along the day where I was feeling stressed because, like you said, I have a husband and a son home with the stomach virus today. And so I had a pile of things on my to-do list, right, and 2 sick loved ones that I also needed to care for. So when I became aware of the stress kind of rising up, then before I got too frazzled, I just said, breathe, it's going to be okay. Instead of going faster, you have to go slower right this moment. Just slow down. And I only have to go slow for a minute, just literally move slow down my thinking, slow down my actions, breathe. Breathing is the most important thing, I think, to bring our heart rate down and our stress level down. And then, once I can pull myself back together, then I can move on with whoever needs me at the moment to do whatever it is. But what I've noticed is that I've gotten better at noticing when the stress level is rising. Practicing this helps you to get better at noticing that. And then rather than being unconscious about it, where the stress level, like kind of in the back, the stress level is rising, and you're moving faster and you're getting snippier and snippier, and then someone does something and you just explode. Rather than that happening, you start to feel it in the front, like you're aware of it, and you can address it before it gets up to here. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, I think breathing and mindfulness is the answer to it all.
Wow. And look at you. Just listening to you is so calming, and it's modeling how you can handle a situation like this. So you have this TV interview this morning, and your son and your husband are sick. So, like you say, you're attending to your loved ones, which I know it's so crucial. And as moms and caretakers, we love that. We're very passionate about being loving, nurturing caretakers. And yet through breathing and slowing down time and being more conscious, you are here modeling how to cope with stress and how to rise above it all and come and show up with higher consciousness.
Thank you. The other thing that I would point out is that, and I think this is an important point for your viewers to remember, is it's important. Today it was important for me to be compassionate to myself, because we're just getting back into the swing of real work now that the holidays are over and the kids are back to school. Well, 2 of my 3, but the kids are back to school. Now we can get focused back on work again. And so in my mind and on my paper, I had a list a mile long of what I wanted to accomplish today. And I had to get to a point where I just looked at the list and said, okay, let me see which ones are the absolute non-negotiable priorities, and then the rest just has to go. And so, the rest will get pushed back to this evening or tomorrow or the next day, and it's fine. You have to get good at managing your time and knowing how to prioritize things and being compassionate and not feeling like just because you put it on the list for today that it actually has to happen today. It's okay to just put the stuff, push it back if it can be pushed back, and to not beat yourself up for that.
Right. And you're modeling that to your children. And I think in joining the conversation with our children, it's really important that they hear and see those really valuable messages that, like you say, prioritizing, knowing when it's really time to breathe and be self-compassionate and connect and be more conscious how valuable that is, and how okay it is to push something back and come back to it, and that doesn't mean you failed. It just means that you've prioritized and you've managed your time and you're taking care of yourself, and that's wonderful. What a great message, legacy to leave your children.
Thank you.
So those viewers who are watching, if you'd like to join this wonderful community, the BCC community, Building Connected Communities, you can email Sue and Erin at info@buildingconnectedcommunities.com. And they will put you in touch or pair you or match you with your partners and people who are like-minded, who are interested in working on some projects together. Do you have authors, or do you match and pair co-authors on your Building BCC community?
We do have actually many authors and many aspiring authors. So we offer a Facebook group of people. We actually have 2 private Facebook groups, and one offers the ability for people to connect and to collaborate and join forces in whatever it is they want to work on. So whether it be a book or articles or what have you. And we also promote our members, their books and their writings and whatnot, so that we can help them to spread the word that they're trying to spread, and help them to be successful in their books and their publications. So we build in any way we can to support our members in all the work that they're doing, writing, being one of them, one of the many.
And are there certain ways that you group people together, or tribes, or certain common interests? So if I'm interested in joining your community, how would you guide me through finding the right place or the right type of connections for me?
I think that all of the people in our community are very like-minded. One person might work with parents only. One person might work with parents and children. One person might work with just adults. But all of them have the same mindset about, wanting to help people have a more fulfilled and conscious life. And so we don't try to restrict or group our members, so to speak, into what we think are reasonable groups, because who knows what kind of really neat collaborations could come out of the most unlikely connection.
I love that.
So we just kind of allow everyone to connect with each other and see who resonates, and who you might be drawn to, who you feel a particular connection to, or maybe someone wrote something or shared a video or something that really, really spoke to you, and you're just drawn to reach out to them. So we try not to take too much of a hand in that, and really let kind of the universe work its magic for each person.
Oh, I love that. I'm all about organic experiences and allowing the universe, like you say, to, fate or universe make those connections. So that's wonderful. It seems very inclusive. And so anyone can be part of the community and find their ways to connect and building connections and communities, and you will support that.
Yes, I think that basically it's people who share that similar kind of idea about wanting to help others live a more conscious life. We haven't built an organization that would support an electrician or a plumber or, a school bus driver. So as long as you fit your work kind of fits in that realm of the helping fields, definitely reach out to us because we can definitely help.
Wonderful. Tell us about joining. What are the steps in becoming a member of BCC?
What a great question. So I think the first step would be to send us an email at info@buildingconnectedcommunities.com, or even reach out on Facebook and connect with one of us. But the steps that we go through are we actually speak to every single person before they become a member to share what BCC is about, what we do, how we can support them. And the way we share that is by first learning about them, what it is they need, what they're looking for, if they have a business, what that business is all about, and what kinds of support they need in their business. Everyone needs something different that comes to us. And so part of the mission of BCC and the things that Erin and I are most committed to is listening to our member community or those joining our community to hear what it is they would like to see that would support their growth in their, in their world, whether it be, in the US or somewhere in another country. And so as we learn, we were able to then also present what would support them that we already have in place. If there are things that we can add to support their growth, we will certainly add them immediately, if not sooner. We're very quick on restructuring or creating what someone needs. And so we go through the membership and how the membership works. We have 3 different classifications of memberships. We have a professional member, which is someone who has their own business. And we have a BCC presenter, which is someone who really believes and is so passionate about spreading consciousness and mindfulness and educating, both parents as well as maybe teachers and administrators on how to bring more consciousness and mindfulness into this world, into their school, into their home. Those are our BCC presenters. And so that's a different level of membership. And they don't have to have their own business. They're a consultant or contractor for BCC. And then the third one is students, people who are in school who are learning something or getting certified in something that has to do with the helping field, the helping profession, those fields that we mentioned at the beginning. And so those are 3 different types of memberships. And so they're able to go onto our site and actually pay through our website and join our community. We offer a special for the first month, actually, which is $1 for any new member that joins, so that we can give them a taste of all that we offer. We're so sure of what we offer and how supportive it is for anyone doing this work that is like-minded on the same mission, that we really want to give them a taste of it for the first month so they see all the wonderful things that we would love to offer to them. I hope that answers
Sounds
your question.
good. Yeah, sign me up. It sounds wonderful. I think this opening up your platform, this BCC business platform, and connecting people who are like-minded, like you say, to do good for the world, it's such an important vision that I can't tell you how much I love supporting, and I'm very devoted to supporting. So any way that I can support you and BCC, and I will be involved. So we will talk about that and how I can personally become an active member of BCC in your community. And it's been an honor having you on MomTalk and having this new platform to connect the MomTalk viewers to you, and for us all to join in forces to bring peace learning and better consciousness and higher consciousness to the world.
We are honored. I'm sure I can speak for you too, Erin. We're both honored to be here. Thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, Nelly.
It's been a pleasure having you both, Sue DeCaro and Erin Taylor, and BCC. And if you're interested in joining, you can send an email to info@buildingconnectedcommunities.com and join us on this very, very important mission of consciousness and parenting and consciousness and leadership and becoming more involved in raising higher consciousness. That's, like I said, one of my New Year's resolutions, and I will not drop that ball. I am laser focused on it, and it is a pleasure. It's a privilege to be on this journey with you, MomTalk viewers, and this global community. Thank you so much for joining us today. And for this new year, it's also my privilege to have guests and special guests who are soul leaders in the field of higher consciousness. So please follow us, MomTalk LA, on Facebook, social media, Twitter, and we have so much exciting programs to share and produce for you in this new year. Until next time,